Here he is, one half of the main event, Mr. Derek Brunson. How are you, sir? You well?
I'm good. It's early in the morning over here, but it's about, I don't know, like 11 o'clock where I'm normally at. So it's all good.
Well, it's a little bit of a treat for UK fight fans. We're all absolutely thrilled that we don't have to stay up till the early hours of the morning to watch our UFC this weekend, my friend. I know that might be a bit of a pain for you in the main event, fighting at an unusual time than what you're used to when you're in your main events. But it's a thrill for us that we get this on European prime time. Does that throw a spanner into the works with any of your preparations?
No, not at all. I'm a fighter. So I look at it like, if you have to fight in the morning, at lunch, at noon, at brunch, at 7 p.m., 12 a.m., 2 a.m., it's time to go. So it doesn't matter to me whenever the fight occurs, whatever the time, I can make the adjustments. It's an easy fix and be ready to go.
Listen, I want to, for fight fans that are watching this, I just want to put a little bit of respect on your name, because I think as MMA fans in general around the world talk about middleweights, your name isn't mentioned often enough. And I just want to talk about some of the accolades that you've achieved over your 11-year pro career, 9 years in the UFC. And as we look down the hit list that you have been in the octagon with, there's some sensational names in there. Sixth main event, if I'm not mistaken. This is the third on the spin. So that in itself just tells you where you are at, Derek. How do you look back at that 9 years in the UFC so far?
Yeah, my time in the UFC, I was very consistent in terms of getting a lot of fights in the UFC, staying at the highest level for so long. I've seen a lot of guys get ranked, lose a couple fights, and get cut. I've seen a lot of guys come to the UFC, go maybe 1 and 2, get cut. And these are good fighters. These are some of the best fighters in the world. So it just takes a lot of consistency, attention to details to be able to stay at this level for so long.
7 first-round finishes as well, man. Everybody, whenever I speak to any fan about you, they always say, oh, yeah, he's got a good wrestling base. Hang on. He's got hands as well. He finishes people nice and early.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people like to sleep on that or forget that, I made a little adjustment from like the beginning of my career when I used to come out and just bomb rush people. I started being a little bit more tactical. So, it slowed down the first round finishes. But, yeah, we still have a lot of ways to finish the fight, whether it's on the ground, standing, or, ground and pound or getting a submission.
Now, in the aftermath of your last fight against Kevin, on the microphone, you were mentioning Paulo Costa's name. Why did we not end up there? Why did we not end up with Paulo Costa, and how we ended up with Darren Till?
Yeah, Paulo Costa, he didn't want to fight, He had an opportunity. The UFC sent him a contract, but it was always just another excuse or why he wasn't ready. So, yeah, ultimately he didn't want to fight. And it's funny, everybody always asks about what's next, with the win, if Paulo Costa would have took the fight, and that's the number 2 guy, a win over him would have for sure had me with the next, title shot. So here we are.
Well, talk to me about this with Till, because again, here in the UK, we've obviously been previewing this main event, and a lot of the talk, mainly because of what has come out of the champion's mouth, I suppose, has been if Till wins, and if Till wins in style, therefore he will be, after Whittaker, the next in line for a title shot. But surely that same rhetoric applies to yourself. You're on a nice little win streak at the moment against the top guys, and if you can get a finish here against Darren Till, surely it's you after Whittaker.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what I'm looking at also. I'm looking to impress and look to get a finish. And then, yeah, definitely. I mean, I can sit and wait, after Israel Whittaker fight, I think I should definitely be next, 4 fights in a row. That'll be 5. So, yeah.
As you look at the guys that you have competed against in the UFC, and there is some sensational names in there, Derek, is it a little bit of a surprise to you that there hasn't been a title opportunity in that mix for you as of yet?
Yeah, it's funny because some guys have not fought nearly the competition I have, and they got title shots. Some people just have timing and able to dance around things, and time is everything in this sport. So yeah, some people have different paths or different roads, but I definitely took the hardest road possible. Like somebody going home, they take the longest way home. That's kind of been my journey. Take the hardest way possible to try to achieve what I'm trying to achieve, which is that title shot.
And speaking of which, And obviously we're disappointed that this isn't necessarily the case right now with the travel situation and restrictions that we have. This was supposed to be happening in London, this main event, this UFC main event, which obviously I know that Darren's not a Londoner, he's a Liverpool guy, but he's a Brit, and that would have been a very heavy favoured crowd towards him. But you weren't shy in coming forwards, my friend, and stuck your hand up and said, listen, I'll travel. If I've got to travel to fight the top guy, I'll come to London and do the business. Are you a little bit disappointed that you don't get that opportunity to do that?
I am, I haven't been to the UK or London before, so it was an opportunity to scratch something off on my bucket list. I fought in Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, supposed to fight in Germany. But yeah, I've never been to the UK, so that was an opportunity to go there, put on a show, get some fights. So yeah, when I found out that it wasn't in London, I was a little bummed, even though I had to go on the road and I was going to have to hear some boos. It just is what it is. I'm kind of used to it by now.
I was going to say, you come across as the type of guy that kind of thrives off that. You've mentioned all the places that you've gone, and you've actually fought a lot of hometown fighters in the places that you've gone to. It's not a case of just going there and fighting. You've been fighting the hometown guy. You kind of seem to get off on being the away fighter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, like we talked about earlier. Whether the fight's in the morning, at lunch, at night, it doesn't matter to me. A fight is a fight. You have to be ready at all times. Same thing as, yeah, it'll be nice to, fight in the US or whatever, not have to travel. But if the opportunity presents itself and it's, a quality fight, which this fight is a fight that has a lot of implications on it, then, we go where we need to go and look to get the job done.
How much have you enjoyed the social media back and forth with Darren? You seem to have come into yourself as well. He seems to have encouraged something out of yourself as well with the meme back and forth and what have you.
Yeah, my thing is, I think my whole career, I was just so uptight. So I'm like, I'm more towards the end of my career than the beginning. So now it's just more focused on just having fun, training hard, and just going out there, putting on a show and, being smart out there, I've had crazy fights. I've had bad fights. I've had good fights. So now it's all about putting everything together and just having fun.
And obviously, I can see that the hairstyle is blonde, undefeated as blonde Brunson. Is that a thing now? Is that I don't want to say superstition, but is that just part of the preparations for fight night now for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. We riding the blind Brunson while it's hot. We gonna keep riding it. So yeah, we haven't had any problems with it. So yeah, we here, blind Brunson.
Over the last 18 months, quite a lot of people have been going through difficulties, Derek, with everything that's been going on with the pandemic and what have you. And I mentioned your career a moment or two ago with the ups and downs and the murderous road that you have been on throughout your career. You've showed an awful amount of resilience, and I'm sure a lot of people have obviously showed a lot of resilience as well themselves over the last 18 months. Does your past experience in your past life as a mental health therapist, which maybe a lot of people don't know too much, that you were involved with, has that helped the way that you've dealt with your career, or is it vice versa? Is it MMA that has helped you when you were in that walk of life?
Oh, no, I would definitely say, the way that I approach and deal with things and the problem solving skills from being a in-home therapist, it gives me that ability to keep things in perspective, and not get like grandiose in terms of if everything don't go my way or if things aren't going my way, there's opportunity to turn it around. I just have to create a plan and work towards it. So yeah, definitely my previous background definitely helped me when it comes to martial arts.
And on this contest at the weekend, which again, we're all excited about here in the UK, what are the skill sets that you believe that your opponent brings to the octagon and the challenges that you'll face come Saturday night?
Darren Till is a scrappy guy. He's pretty tricky with the hands. He likes to come forward. He likes to be aggressive. So, he's a guy that just likes to bring the action. So you have to be alert at all times, keep your eyes open, and be able to make reads and make adjustments.
And obviously, as we mentioned before, you're not just about wrestling. There's some heavy hands in there as well for Derek Brunson. Are we going to get fireworks as soon as that cage door shuts?
Oh, I mean, it depends, man. It all depends. I think, Till's looking to come out impressed. He said he's going to get a first round finish. So that means that he got little time to waste. So, I'm all game. However opponent wants to come out, I just make reads and then I just, take the fight from there. So we'll see how Till comes out. I got a game plan and we're gonna stick to it and look to get the finish because we want to put ourselves in that next title shot.
And regarding that title shot, as we've all been talking about for some time now, we think it will be Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. Who do you think that you will be fighting for the title when it comes to your turn?
That's a tough one, man, because I like to think that Whittaker is going to make some adjustments and he's going to be a better version of himself and he's going to be a lot tougher to deal with. So I think he'll have his moments in that fight. You know, we know what happened the first fight. You know, Izzy was on that night, but I think it's going to be a competitive fight and I think it'll be a close, split decision either way it goes.